Hey guys, welcome back to Sultry Makeup. This is Italia. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do my foundation, concealer, and I'll also be showing you how I highlight and contour my face. Now keep in mind, this is not how I do my makeup on a regular everyday basis. This is how I do my makeup for my makeup job, when I go out with my boyfriend or my friends, or when I'm filming videos for you guys. So it is a very full coverage. It's nice and bright under the eyes. So if you're interested in seeing how I do this, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so to get started, start with clean and moisturized skin. I also suggest putting a lip balm or chapstick, whatever product you want to use on your lips before you start doing, any actual face makeup. That way by the time you get to your lips, they're nice and moisturized and hydrated. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a primer. I don't always use a primer, and the one that I'm using right now is a little sample of the MAC Prep and Prime Skin. It's just the original one. Comes in, just a white color. And you don't need a lot of product. I'd say about a pump of this should be good for your entire face. It does spread quite nicely. So just, be light-handed when it comes to using primers. And then I usually do my brows before I do my foundation. I already have my brows on today. It's not, the thing I usually wear. I usually do eyeshadow, pencil, and foundation to clean up around them. Today I was just, running late for work, so I just put some shadow through them just so they wouldn't look so bare. But I will be doing an actual brow tutorial at some point. But today I definitely wanted to do my foundation routine. Now my skin is kind of breaking out quite a bit at the moment, but I guess it's a good time to show you what I use to cover, all that stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is take my palette. You can, work off of the back of your hand if you don't have that, or, just a clean CD case, or pretty much anything you can use as a palette. I have the MAC one. It's a MAC Pro product. I'm not going to blind you with it, but that's what I use. And for foundation, I use the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC35, which looks like this. And I'm happy with the foundation. I just find that, depending on the brush I use is how much foundation I use. Some brushes kind of soak up more product than others. So I put about 2 pumps of the foundation on there. And then the other thing that I like to mix into my foundation are Lustre drops. This is the color that I use. It's called Sun Rush. And it's from MAC. It originally comes in a puff paint type of packaging, but I depotted mine into this. So I'm just going to take some, about that much. You guys can see that. Sometimes I put more Lustre drops, and less foundation, or, vice versa. So it just depends on the look that I'm going for today. I put quite a bit of Lustre drops on there, so it's definitely going to look a lot more glowy than other times. And then just with my little mixing spatula, I'm just going to mix the foundation and Lustre drops together like that. Now you don't have to use MAC Lustre drops. You can use any liquid highlighter that you want. If you are, more light-skinned, I would suggest going for something like the MAC Pink Rebel, which is a pink-based, highlighter. And then just whatever's on my spatula, I just kind of put on my skin. Now there's a few different brushes that you can use. You can use dual fiber type of brushes like these, or you can take a powder brush. So when I use my MAC 109, I find that it soaks up a little bit of product, so I end up using more foundation than when I use something like this. This is the MAC 131. It's limited edition, but just any dual fiber brush will do. So I'm just gonna take some foundation from my palette and then just put it all over. So I just kind of lay the foundation down first, and then I start blending. And then when it comes to my forehead, I try to, use less product on my forehead than on the rest of my face, just because I find that if I put a lot of foundation on my forehead, you can see it, so definitely not what we want. So I'm just going to start blending the foundation in just small circles. And then when it comes to the under eye area, I don't really like put foundation there. Like I'll blend, around the eye, but I'm not actually gonna use my foundation as concealer. I know that some people like to do that, but at least for my eye, for my under eye area, the foundation is just not the right tone to cover under there. But if you can use your foundation as a concealer type of product, well then that's just one less step that you have to do. And then just with whatever's left on your brush as you're blending down, you do want to make sure you blend, a little bit down your neck. You don't necessarily want to put foundation there, you just kind of want to blend it down so it just looks even. And then if you need a little bit more, you can always add more. I always like to add a little bit here to my cheeks because they get kind of rosy. I want it to be fairly even. And then you really want to make sure you get right here, like in the sides of your nose, especially when you put your powder, when you set your foundation. If you don't, wherever you don't have foundation, it's going to show because the powder sticks to, the moist foundation, and you don't want to have any like weird creases around your nose. So I'm just going to blend the foundation, into my hairline. And then I'm not going to worry about my brows right now because, like I said, they just have shadow on them. But, when I do have like my actual like real brows on, I'll take a small fluffy brush, like a MAC 224, this is a Sigma E40. I'll take some foundation and then just, go around the brows. And because it's a smaller brush, it's a little bit more precise. So you can add as much or as little foundation as you want to. I'm just kind of showing you the way I do my foundation when I'm filming. If I am just wearing some makeup like to go to the store or something, I definitely don't put as much foundation on. I just mainly want it to, even out my skin tone. But for this video, I'm just going to show you the way I do it for when I'm, filming and stuff. And just whenever you're working with foundation, you want to work a little bit at a time, just because, especially if you have a, duo fiber type of brush like this, if you get too much product on here, it's going to get really streaky and, be like a paintbrush. So the less product you have, just really blend it into the skin, and then you can just add more as you need it. So I think I'm pretty happy with, the overall coverage. And I do have some foundation over, but that's not a big deal. Now to conceal my under eye area, I like to use this Bobbi Brown Peach Corrector. They make correctors in quite a few different shades, and this is just the one that I picked up at the CZO. I like it, I just find that if I apply it with, just like a regular brush, it tends to get a little bit cakey down there. So what I've been using, I recently started using this, is kind of like a, makeup sponge. It's not a beauty blender, obviously, as you can see by the shape. You can find these at, probably like Target. I think Sonia Kashuk makes one like this. But just any, makeup sponge. It could be just a regular makeup sponge. Just want to make sure that you dampen it with either water. I used my Fix Plus. Then I'm just going to dip it into the corrector. Then I'm just kind of pinching it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pat that right under the eyes. So as you can see already, it's really brightened my under eye area. It doesn't look as light in person as it's showing up in the camera, but either way we're gonna blend it out. So find that by like really pressing the product into the skin, it doesn't look as kinky under there. And then I am bringing it down and across my cheek, so it does kind of help cover and even out the area down here. Then just bring it all the way across. So essentially making like a triangle, so down the nose and then across the cheekbone like that. And just keep pressing. And then before I actually set the concealer with powder, I do go in with a brush and then just help smooth everything out. And if you find that your makeup sponge is getting, you know, it's getting dry again, you can always just re-wet it. What I do is I just spray some Fix Plus here in the palm of my hand and then just go like this to get it nice and wet. So again, on the other side, just taking some product, kind of pinching it together, and so just like that. And then with whatever is left on the sponge, or taking a little bit more, I like to go wherever I have any discoloration from, you know, acne or whatever. And because this is like a warmer peachy tone, it cancels out the grayness that, you know, blemishes and stuff leave behind. I also like to go around my mouth a little bit and then just kind of blend it out. And you can always go back in with your foundation brush and just help smooth that out a little bit. So yeah, if you're about an NC35, NC40, and you're looking for a good, you know, corrector that's gonna brighten without being too light, I definitely recommend this Bobbi Brown Peach Corrector. I absolutely love that. Okay, and then, like I said, I'm going in with a fluffy brush. This is a Sigma E40. I'm just going over the under eye area, making sure that nothing is creasing down there. You don't want to set a creased concealer. So just like that. And then to set it, I'm using the Bare Minerals Well Rested Powder. I do have an actual review for this and a little demo, but I'll go ahead and show you here anyway. So same on the other side, take powder, swirl it in the cap, tap a little bit off, and then just pat the powder on. And I really like this powder not only to set and really brighten my under eye area, but I kind of use it to highlight the tops of my cheekbones too. So just like that. So that's all I do for the actual under eye area. Now for the rest of my face, I'm going to use my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC40, and I'm taking, you know, just a big powder brush. This is a MAC 129. I'm going to swirl quite a bit of powder on there, and then I like to just lightly brush it on my cheeks. And then I also go over the highlighted area a little bit, not so much under the actual eye, but just here like on the top of the cheekbone, just so it kind of blends, you know, the highlightedness with the rest of my face. Then I'll show you what I use to contour and highlight. I'm taking the MAC 165. It's a limited edition brush, but you can also use the MAC 109. That's a good contouring brush too. I'm taking the Bahama Mama Bronzer by theBalm. Looks like that. And I'm just going to swirl the brush in there. Tap a little bit off, and then you can make the fishy face or the kissy face or whatever face you want to call it. But essentially you're putting this from the corner of your ear, you know, the angle from the corner of your ear to the corner of your mouth. So that's, you know, this is the angle that you want to put your contour or bronzer in. So I concentrate the most powder back here and then just very lightly brush it forward. You don't want to literally make a straight line. You want to stop about here when you're looking straight into the mirror. And then I'm just gently buffing whatever's left up. And also take a little bit more and go up here in my hairline, around the temples, and then a little bit down here on the side of the jaw to help slim everything down. So you don't have to use an actual like product that's made to like contour. You can really just use your bronzer. As long as it's not too shimmery, you can use it as like a contour type of product. Now depending on the look that I'm doing is like how much I apply, but I'm not really planning to do anything too intense today. Then to highlight the tops of my cheekbones, I'm using theBalm's Mary Lou Manizer, and I'm just taking the same Sigma E40 that I used to set my under eye concealer. Take a little bit of the powder, make sure you tap it off, and just very lightly brush it here on the top of the cheekbone. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it adds a really pretty glow. You definitely don't want to take a big brush, swirl it around, and then apply it because it is quite shimmery. And I just kind of blend it down, not really meeting with the contour, just kind of halfway. And then you can add any blush that you want. Today I'll be using the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso, which has been a favorite of mine recently. It's like the perfect blush to wear on days where you just don't really want to wear blush. So I'm just going to use my 109 for this. And then just apply it here, and just lightly up, and blend it in a little bit with the highlight and with the contour or bronzer, whatever you used. Then as a final touch, you do want to set everything with a makeup setting spray. You could use the MAC Fix Plus, which isn't technically a setting spray, but it's definitely going to really blend the powder into your skin and, you know, make it look a little bit more natural. But I really like the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. This is just a little travel size. So I give it a few spritz, let it dry, and you're good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave any questions or comments below, and I'll see you next time.